Let me start this video by reading to you what is in the news today, and that is starting with the story that we've all woken up to, which is that a further £25 billion worth of spending cuts are due to come our way. Much of it from the welfare budget, which will be needed after the next election, Chancellor George Osborne has warned. He said that more austerity lay ahead and that the job was not even half done. He suggested making welfare cuts by cutting the housing benefit for under 25s and restricting council housing for those earning over £65,000 per year. Now, Deputy Prime Minister Nick Clegg said that targeting the working age poor was extreme, unrealistic and unfair. Well said, Nick Clegg. The reason that I'm making a video about this so much, as opposed to some of the other stuff that's in the news at the moment, which is still quite bad as it is the fact that yet again, it's the unemployed being targeted again. And I say unemployed, I know that not everyone who gets housing benefit under the age of 25 is going to be unemployed. You know, you can still get it if you're earning under a certain amount, and it's complex and everything like that. But it's going to be the majority of people getting housing benefit. They're going to be unemployed at the moment. Now, the problem that I have with this is that it's not the unemployed's fault that they're unemployed. You know, it's not our fault, the fact that the job market is the way it is at the moment, the fact that there just isn't the jobs out there for us to go and do, the fact that we still want to go and work, but we can't, there just isn't the jobs available. Where the hell does this £25 billion come from? You know, I know that the country is in debt, allegedly, and I know that it is apparently down to us to kind of get the country out of debt, but really, where does this £25 billion come from? The thing is with a policy like this is that it's going to risk, not only will this government not be re-elected now, because why are we going to re-elect someone that's going to try and take that amount of money off us, but, you know, with doing policies like this, you risk running the poor into quite possibly death in certain cases. I mean, let's face a little fact here. For under 25 people that are unemployed at the moment, the amount that they get off the government is 56 something pounds a week, and that income is frozen. So it doesn't matter how much the bills go up by or the cost of living goes up by, the amount of income that they get is frozen anyway. Now, I first made a video on this channel years ago called The Truth About Job Seekers Allowance, or something like that. When I made that video, I was 24 years old. I was on the lowest amount of job seekers allowance that you can actually get. Now, I was having hard enough time as it was, you know, and now we live in this culture where the unemployed are literally sanctioned by the government. So a sanction basically means that their income is taken off them, it's stripped away from them, but they're still expected to pay the bills. Now, the only alternative to that is to claim this hardship allowance, which is the usual job seekers allowance amount minus 40%. Don't know why the 40% is taken off. Still, no one at the job centre knows either. And if you're expecting someone under the age of 25 to be on a sanction claiming this this extra benefit support thing, then they're not going to have enough money to pay the bills as it is. And now we're expecting them to start paying into the rent as well. I mean, isn't it bad enough that they have to pay into the tax, into the council tax for their local area anyway, when the fact is that they have not enough money to do that? But they're now expected to cover the housing benefit because there has to be restrictions in that. This is fucking bullshit. And this is completely where the line ends. You know, we have pushed the poor people in this country, we've pushed them enough. You know, we have people literally killing themselves because they can't live the way that things are in this country. We've pushed them to being broke. The middle class, people are working their fucking asses off if they have a job at the moment, trying to keep into a job. Look at the NHS, for example. You know, right across the board, NHS staff, most of them, have been on a pay freeze for the past, 4 years? And then the time that the pay rise comes round, it's either a 1%, or in some areas, that 1% has been taken away from them. They're not going to get that 1% pay increase. And that's after a 4-year pay freeze. So the people that are working literally for bare minimum money. You know, it's bullshit the fact that they're expected to live on that amount in this current climate. The rich people in this country, well, I'm sorry, but what has happened to the rich people in this country? Yes, they still get taxed 40 something percent of their income. Whoop-de-fucking-do. You know, after their 40% income has been taken away from them, after 40% has been taken off them in tax, they still have a greater income than most of us in this country kind of put together. This is where it needs to end. The government need to actually fucking, for once, take a look at the people that they are dealing with in this country. When was the last time that a member of this current government came to the area where I live? If they came and took a walk around this town, I'm quite sure they'd probably get spat at a couple of times, but if they came and walked around this town, they would see what an absolute shithole it is where I live anyway. You know? They would see that there is literally not enough jobs in this area to cope with the amount of people living in this area. They would see how having benefits hasn't become a way of life for people. It is literally a way to try and make ends meet. And I say try and make ends meet because even on benefits, it is fucking retarded if you think you can make your ends meet. There is a really popular website, well, I say really popular website, there is a website called YouNow, and YouNow years ago, I don't know if they still do, they used to have this room that you could go in and you could openly debate about politics. Now, I always used to go into the politics things because for those people that know me or have watched the videos that I've done on here, you probably know that politics is a little bit of an interest of mine. But one of the ideas that I put forward to the people in this room was saying, okay, we've got all this debt and everything like that. Why don't we just write it off? You know, why don't we just reset the whole system, set it back to zero, let's start over again? And it is possible for that to be done, by the way. It is possible. Why aren't we doing it? You know, the government have said previously, not directly in answer to my question, but they have said previously that, you know, we should pay our debts back and, you know, be awfully British about it. Well, I'm sorry, but no, fuck off. You know, we all struggle enough as it is to make ends meet, and that's a basic fact. If the government get voted in again, and we do end up going through these £25 billion worth of savings and all that kind of shit, we'll end up with more people in debt, and that's all it is. You know, it literally goes from the government being in debt to the poor people being in debt. But, you know, they're the poor people. Who gives a shit about that? Because the MPs just got a pay increase.